Okay. Jai Hind to all. This is Santosh Mishra from Information Technology Department of Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, and in today's lecture we will study a very important concept called web technology, and it's in this subject, in the web technology, there is a very important topic, that is exception handling. And exception handling, we will try to understand what the exception is, why we require to handle the exception, and we will try to understand this concept by a language called Java. We will use Java language to write the syntax to understand what the exception is and what are different mechanism available in Java to handle the exception. So let's start. Firstly, if I say what the exception is, exception, let's start what the exception is. I am trying to tell what the exception is. What the exception is? Exception is an abnormal situation in your piece of code. You have written a Java code, and if there is any mistake in your code, if there is any syntax error or semantic error in your piece of code, then your code will not execute, it will stuck up, it will show error log in front of you. But there is a mechanism of exception handling in Java that enables us to execute the correct code. The code, let's say we have 1000 line of code. In that 1000 line of code, only one line has some mistake. Let's say I have mistakenly forget to put semicolon in that line. In that situation, you have just done a single mistake, but due to that mistake of one line, the rest 999 lines of code will not execute. That line will also suffer. But through exception handling in Java, you can handle this situation. You can instruct the compiler to execute the rest of code, even if there is a error situation, there is a abnormal situation, there is some mistake in your one line. So what the exception is? Exception is an abnormal. If I said in dictionary meaning, the exception means some abnormal situation. If there is any abnormal situation in your piece of code, then and there the compiler, the Java compiler, will create the object of that type of exception. Means exception is an object. Exception is an object. I will elaborate very soon. So let's say I have 10, 5 line of code. I have 5 line of code. Here there is some problem. Here there is some problem. This code is not correct. Line 1, line 2, line 4, line 5 all are correct, but line 3 have some error. In that situation, whenever the compiler will reach at this place, it will start from the line 1, move to line 2, and whenever it will reach to line 3, it will create an object of that type of objects exception that has been erased here, that has been created here by the Java compiler. जिस टाइप की एक्सेप्शनल सिचुएशन यहाँ आएगी इस लाइन 3 पे, उसी टाइम पे कंपाइलर जावा का उस टाइप का ही एक एक्सेप्शन, उस टाइप के एक्सेप्शन का एक ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करेगा, एंड दैट ऑब्जेक्ट विल बी थ्रोन बैक. outside the code. And if that object, means that object is a exception object, if that has been handled, then the rest of the code will be executed. This way, what the exception is, we can say exception is a object, and this object, that this exception object will be thrown by the Java compiler at the place where you have done some abnormal situation, you have done some mistake. Then and there, that type of exceptional object will be created and thrown to the user by the compiler. And if the programmer have handled that situation, then your rest code will execute. I hope. So mainly you have to understand जिस पॉइंट पे एक्सेप्शनल सिचुएशन आएगा, जैसे कि यहाँ लाइन 3 पे आया है, कंपाइलर वहीं पे ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करेगा. मान लीजिए कि हमने डिवाइड बाई 0 कर दिया किसी कोड में, बाकी सब कोड ठीक है, लेकिन डिवाइड बाई 0 आपने सिचुएशन एराइज कर दिया है. तो डिवाइड बाई 0 इज नॉट अलाउड इन प्रोग्रामिंग, और डिवाइड बाई 0 एक तरह का अरिथमेटिक एक्सेप्शन है. जितने भी टाइप्स के एक्सेप्शनल सिचुएशन हो सकते हैं, सबके लिए जावा में क्लासेस बना के रखी हुई हैं, जिसके सबसे टॉप पे थ्रोएबल क्लास होती है, जिसकी 2 सब क्लासेस हैं. वन इज एरर एंड अनदर इज एक्सेप्शन. एक्सेप्शन इज throwable is the supermost class, and it has 2 subclasses, exception and error. And through the exception object, exception had a number of classes like arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception and many more. तो जिस टाइप का exceptional situation आएगा, compiler will create that type of object there and throw it outside the code. And if that has been handled, then the rest of your code will execute, otherwise not. So this way, by handling the exceptional situation in your piece of code, you can make your code robust. You can make your code to run even after there is some error in your code. So I hope you understand what the exception is. We basically say exception is abnormal situation. Exception is an object in your piece of code that is created by the Java compiler at the time of the place where you have done some mistake or you have created some abnormal situation, and that object that has been created by your compiler will be thrown to the code. If it has been handled, then the rest of the code will execute, otherwise not. So let's understand by one example. Let's understand it by one example. I am writing a code. There is a Java class ABC. It has been public static void main function string args array, and in this main function there is variable a, b and c. Let a equals to 50, b equals to 0, and I am performing c equals to a by b. And after that there is also a message printf hello. Let me use system.out.println in place of printf. I am using system to print in Java, system.out dot println hello. Now you can see that whenever program will start from here, then it will move to here, then here, then here, and whenever compiler reaches to this place, then there is a situation divide by 0 error will occur, and at this place compiler will create an object of the class arithmetic exception. It will create, since divide by 0 error has been defined in a arithmetic exception class, that's why an object of arithmetic exception class will be created over here and thrown outside this block. Since I have not handled it, so even this is correct. This line system.out.println hello has no problem, but still it will not execute. Similarly, there may be a situation you have written 1000 line of code and at one place there is some mistake. So other code will also not execute. To handle it, we have to put this situation, this line of code, this one is creating problem. To handle it, we may implement some exception handling mechanism so that the rest of the code that has no error should execute, and this can be done by exception handling. So exception handling can be done by these 5 keywords. Exception handling can be done by these five keywords. First one is try, second one is catch, third one is throw, fourth one is throws, and fifth one is finally. By these 5 keywords you can understand how can we implement the exception handling in Java. So let's start. The same code that I have written in previous page, I am writing that same code, but I want to implement exception handling. If you implement exception handling in this line is in this code, you have to put this line that have some abnormal situation within try and catch block. Try and catch block we can create write like this. You can write try, then open close curly braces, and here you can write catch. And in this catch you have to pass that type of object which has been thrown from here. From here arithmetic exception has been thrown, so you will create an object of arithmetic exception type over here. Let's understand it here. I am writing the same code, class ABC, and in this class there is public static void main function. In this main method there is a string type array, and here there is 3 variable a, b, c of int type. A equals to 50, b equals to 0, and there is a code c equals to a by b that have some problem. So I have now understand that this code is there. If I have taken the value a and b from user, then there are maybe a chances ki user passed 0 to this b. So there are situation of arising some exceptional situation. So I have to take care of this line to so we have to apply some apply some watch on this line. So to apply this watch, to apply that exception handling, you have to put this line within try and catch block like this. In this catch, you have to pass a object, a variable of that type of class which are being created by the compiler over here. And I have already told arithmetic exception type object will be created over this line and it will be thrown. So I will pass in catch arithmetic exception over here. Let's say I am writing AE. I have passed, I will write more clearly arithmetic exception. You have to pass arithmetic exception object over here, arithmetic exception E, and within this catch, in this catch you may handle that situation. Here I am writing system dot out dot println and I am writing B may not be, I am writing over here B, let me erase first, I am writing B may not be 0, may not be 0, it should be some non-zero value. So I am closing this bracket, I am this curly braces I am putting over here, I am writing this curly braces here. So whenever this situation will arise, B value is 0, arithmetic exception type object will be thrown and it will be caught in this catch block and it will come in A variable. And after catching, I have just displayed a message that B may not be 0, B should some non-zero value, but control will come here only if the value of B is 0. And after that I am previous code I have written system.out.println hello, and this main function has been closed, then class is closed. Now even there is a exceptional situation to this place, but here also whenever this situation arises, control will take B must some non-zero value, and after that this code will also execute and it will say hello. But previously due to this line, control will not moving to the here, and whenever this situation arises, control skip this line, it will stop, it stuck the execution of your code. But when you handle it like this, if this situation arises, this task will perform and error will be told to the user, and after that your rest code will execute fine. This way you, by applying try and catch block, you can handle the abnormal situation in your piece of code, and whenever that abnormal situations arise in your piece of code, then also your code will execute smoothly. There are case chances that more than one exceptional situation may arise. Like let's say, let's understand here. I am writing a code void main, not void. I will write in some class using Java. So let's write a class name is ABC, public. I am writing public static void main, and within this main there is a string args, and here I have, let's say I have a array of integer type. Array name is A and its size is 5. Its size is 5, and there is another variable B and C also. Let's say let me create a array properly. I have created array int A5 is equal to new A. And here the size of the array is, let me make it more simple. I have just declared array, not initialize something, and here there is another variable B, and I am writing B equals to, yeah, let's say I am writing B equals to A of 6 divided by 0. I am writing B equals to A of 6 divided by 0. Since this array A having size 5, so index A of 6 will not available. So there will be a situation array index out of bound exception will be created over here. There is a class array index out of bound exception, and the object of that class will be created over here and thrown to the outside the code. And there is another situation, divide by 0 error has also been occurred over here. Means at this place there are two type of exceptional situation arise. First, array index out of bound, another one is divide by 0. So to handle it, we may put this line within try and catch block. You can apply more than one catch with a single try. Catch may be many with single try. Okay, so with this try I have applied one catch, and in this catch I have passed a object of array index out of bounds exception. Let's say the name of exception is E1, and here I am writing some message system.out.println hello 1, and I am using another catch, and here I am passing arithmetic exception object, arithmetic exception, let's say E2, and here I am writing system.out.println hello 2. So I'm closing this catch, then after that I am closing main function and then closing class. This way you can handle more than one exceptional situation in your piece of code. Since here there are two exceptional situations arising, that's why with a single try I have put it in try and catch, and with this try I have applied more than one catch and handle all those exceptional situations. This way we can use try catch block to handle the exception in your code. The another keyword that we may use is try we have understand try, then catch, and then we have to understand what is the role of throw keyword, and after that we will understand what the throws keyword is. Throw keyword is used to throw the exceptional situation in your piece of code. If the programmer wants to throw an exception in his or her piece of code, then that exception may be explicitly thrown by the programmer by the use of this throw keyword. How can we do that? Let's say there is a class arithmetic exception and there are code 5 line of 5, there is a code that have 5 lines, and at this third line I want to throw, the programmers want to throw some exception explicitly. For that the programmer may use this throw keyword. There is a class, let's say arithmetic exception, arithmetic exception, and I want to create the object of this class. To create the object of this class, I have written constructor of this class and applied new keyword. This anonymous object has been created, and the programmer want to throw it, so he or she can throw by writing throw keyword. So whenever control will move to this line, third line, this arithmetic exception class object will be created and it will be explicitly thrown by this throw keyword. The throw keyword is used to explicitly throw any type of exception in your piece of code like this. But we should understand that whenever we throw some exceptional situation in our code, then it is our primary responsibility to handle that also. We have to put this line of third line in try and catch block, as I have earlier explained you. So throw keyword works like this. There is another keyword, throws keyword. Throws keyword is used, let's say there are some exceptional situation in some function. Let's say I have created a function void show, and in this show function, let me write it. Okay, in this show function I have written this throw keyword. Here I have thrown the exceptional situation. I have created exception in this function. If this function have some exceptional situation, whomsoever will call this function should call this function within try and catch block, because this whenever this function will be called to anywhere, this exceptional situation will be thrown, because I have explicitly mentioned here. So let's say within some class, within some function, I am calling this function, and whenever you will call it, it has some throw keyword, means it will throw this exceptional situation. So that calling of this function must be put within some try and catch block. But we can explicitly means if throw keyword has been used, you should put try and catch here also to handle it, as I have already told you. But if this function don't want to handle this here, then this function may mention throws keyword. By the throws keyword, I can use throws keyword. Let's the function name is void show, and this show function wants to throw some exception, then it can write throws keyword, throws, and let's say I have written arithmetic exception, arithmetic exception means in the definition of this function, in the definition of this function, it has been mentioned that this function will throw some arithmetic exception. By so this may be, this function may reveal that it will throw some exception by writing throws keyword. So since I have written throws keyword to mention that this function have some exceptional situation within it, previously I have written I can write throws, let's say throw new arithmetic exception, means this function have some exceptional situation within it, and this function may tell other functions or classes about its exceptional situation by writing this throws keyword. So it already mentioned that I will throw this type of exception. So whomsoever will call this function should put this calling within try and catch block, that we have already understand. So this is the role of throws keyword. There is another keyword, there is another keyword named finally. I have already told you 5 keywords: try, catch, throw, throws. 4 we have covered already, and 5th one is finally. What is the role of finally keyword? Let's understand. So if let there is a class A, and this class have some line of code 1 2 3 4 5. At third place there is some exceptional situation arise, so this can be handled by putting this code within try and catch block. But, and here I will pass some arithmetic exception object. If arithmetic exception type situation arise at line 3, then it will come to its matching catch that have a variable of arithmetic exception type. But if the arithmetic exception is creating over here, but here there are some another type of variable, it is not arithmetic exception type object. In that situation, that object that has been thrown will not be handled. Object that is thrown here will go to the corresponding catch that has matching object within it. So if the matching object does not meet, then your exception handling will not work. Means your program is still, you are thinking that you have handled the exception, but since there is no matching catch available, that's why your exception will not be handled. To handle this situation, if the matching catch is not found, then still you want to perform some task, that task you can put within finally block. Finally is a block that we apply after catch. You have handled this catch, and after this catch block, let's say this is not available. After this catch, you have written another block, finally block, and this finally block code whatsoever you will write over here will execute when there will no matching catch available. If the matching catch will available, this will be executed. If the matching catch is not there, then in that situation this finally block code will execute. This way you can use finally, you can use try, catch, throw, throws and finally in Java to handle the exceptional situation, and this way you can make your code more robust. Okay, in next lecture we will see the other concept, very important concept we will see in the next lecture. Okay, see you in the next lecture. Thank you, thanks a lot.